forward to it. For any of you folks that might not have had the chance to fill up at home before you got here tonight, and you have a little empty spot down inside, we got a special going on back there in the back tonight. Nachos at $1.50 for a plate full. So in case you want something to stick to your ribs and help hold that beer down, that'll be it. Our people back there in the booth are getting over inventive. I don't know what they're going to come up with next. All right, let's, now you're going to love this guy that's on the program tonight, Rudy.
Ready? Well, I'd like to, I don't know what I'd like to do myself here. I think I'd like to first of all say thank you to you guys, because I think this is like 7 years in a row that I've been here to the Hill Country Cat Club or States or something like that. It's quite a while. And it seems like every year somebody from the Hill Country Casters calls me and says, hey, you want to come out and do that again for us? And I'll tell you what, I look forward to it, because I get the opportunity to talk fishing to a lot of people that enjoy it and that like to get out, and whether it's, you know, my kind of fishing or your kind of fishing, it's all the same. We get to go out there and wet a line. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Tonight, what we want to do is talk about surf fishing. I'm also going to take questions and talk a little bit about fishing off the piers and fishing off the jetty. You guys, how many of you guys have been to one of our visits before? Oh, that's good. The last time I came, everybody raised their hand. I just said, oh, we've got to go home now. It was all open. But I'm glad that, since you guys haven't been here before, I'm going to go through a lot of this, the basics, and then we'll talk about everything from light equipment to some of the bigger stuff and what we do with that stuff out on the surf. Over the last, I guess, 15 or 20 years, I've been surf fishing up and down the coast of the state of Texas, some in Louisiana, coast of Florida, but mostly off the Texas coast. And we have found that probably the entire Gulf Coast, there is not better surf fishing than there is in the state of Texas. We have tried to look for comparable water all along the Gulf Coast. Certainly we've got some brother fishermen up around the eastern seaboard that talk like they've got some great fishing up there. And the surf fishing team that I used to be with in Surfcast, we just sent a guy up there for a weekend. He said it is real good fishing. But around this part of the country, we feel like Texas has some of the best surf fishing water. Now, how many of you guys have ever done it? How many of y'all have ever sat on the beach and thrown a rod? Okay, good, good. So you know what we're talking about. Now, everything up here is surf fishing. You guys got some of this stuff, right? Yeah. Ultralight rod, 6-pound test, little worm on the end. I mean, I could even rig at Texas if I had to, but you know, make it feel like a little freshwater rig. But that's surf fishing. And this is surf fishing. A little more serious. That's right. But it does something different. It does something a little different. Then, if I can get over there, then this is surf fishing. Okay? But the thing is that you can't do with this what you can do with this, or vice versa. And you can't do with this. Okay? So I think it's like everything else. It's having the right equipment to do the right job and knowing where to fish. I mean, I know all of y'all can tell me that if you go to Calaveras or Brownick or Falcon, I mean, there's a lot of water. And I know that you can't just go and throw a line in the middle of the lake and expect to catch fish. I mean, there's got to be some knowledge about where to look, what to look for, where to be, when to be there, what color to use, what equipment to use, and all those things. Same thing with surf fishing. Same thing. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about a stretch of beach that runs 2.5 hours south of San Antonio, which is from Mustang Island, coming out of Corpus Christi, Texas, down to the National Seashore and Malachi Beach area. Okay? Now, I think that the key here is that you guys have got to realize that we've got an area of beach that's accessible to everybody, free of charge, and you don't need a boat. And you may be able to, if you utilize the right techniques or just get lucky, really hook up with some real big game fish. Now, if you go down south of 37, you get down to Corpus Christi, Texas, and you can get down to the Mustang Island, North PADRE area. Now, traditionally, I think all of us are pretty aware of the traditional beach structure, where you talk a gently sloping beach, and you walk for half a mile, and you're into about 5 feet of water. It just doesn't drop off very quickly. Okay. If you travel a little farther south to get into the national seashore, I get to use this fancy toy today. I'm probably screwed up, but anyway. All right. If you go down to the national seashore, which is Malachi Beach facility, you end up in an area known as the Little Shell, Big Shell area. Okay. Now, this is an area that basically 4 miles down the beach you have to utilize 4-wheel drive. Now, many of us have been down there and, hey, had to get pulled out. And I know a lot of folks down there that are down there in 2-wheel drive vehicles and make it back okay. But a lot of folks don't. So, I mean, my recommendation is take a buddy and take an extra truck with you if you have to, but get down there and enjoy it. Well, let me show you guys a couple things about the area that we're going to be talking about today. On your maps, when you get down into this area, and hopefully if you get down there soon, if you will count from the 4-wheel drive marker going south, 8 miles to 11 miles is Little Shell. Then what you're going to see is a traditional structure that looks something like this. If you notice here, the height of the beach is much higher than where this truck is, and that's going to be sloping down. So what happens is, in some of these areas called Little Shell and Big Shell, is that you end up in some tremendous shell banks that are built up in areas, and it makes for some tremendous fishing areas. What happens is that you get, I got another toy, hold on. Here it is. Check this out, all right. Now you can't see it well enough, okay. What happens is that these shell banks literally go out into the water and create feeding pockets for game fish. What happens is the little bugs or the little animals that live in the shells come up, and the medium-sized shad and mullet and those things feed on them. The game fish, the reds and the trout and the pompano feed on them, and the sharks come in and feed on them. So you got a whole chain of events working in these type of areas. Now the difference is that in these type of areas, whether it be Little Shell, which is again between the 8-mile marker and the 11, or Big Shell, which is between the 17.5 and about the 29-mile marker, these shell banks exist, and what you have is you're probably going into 6 feet of water just right out in front of you. Now, the difference in that is that 8 or 10 miles up the beach is going into 1.5 foot of water. Now, traditionally we have found that getting that deeper water, getting that mixture of shell, and that whole feeding cycle, you've really got a good chance to pick up some fish. Now, one thing that's real important before we talk about some of the utilization of some of this gear I've got here is how to drive down there. Now, the easiest thing, I was telling a buddy of mine here the other day that we made it down to Big Shell in about 15 minutes one day because the tide was out and we were running right along the beach. It was hard and fast and flat. Okay? Now, when the tide's up, it's a whole different story. You're driving along on a flat beach, and all of a sudden, you meet these big shell banks. Well, gentlemen, ladies, that is not the place you want to get stuck, especially with the tide coming back. Then you end up giving your bottom of your truck a bath. You sit there, and you have to wait for somebody to come up and pull you out. So there's 3 basic roads on the beach. Down the beachfront, the middle road, which is a little bit of a washboard because of all the traffic, and then there's a dune road that runs back here in the back. I would recommend that hopefully you guys would consider taking the middle road. Taking the middle road for starters until you get to learn the beach, how to approach these shell banks, and how much speed you need, and when you're going to really need to speed up. So it's real important that if you're going to go down on the beach, that whether you're in a public area north of the Malachi Beach facility or down in Big Shell or Little Shell, that you really take precautions. It's a great place to catch a ton of fish, but it's also a place where you can get stuck and it ends up costing you a lot of time and effort. So remember to try to stay here in this middle section. Now, we all talk about going down and having a good time fishing, but what we want to talk about a little bit is some of the stuff that we're going to need going down to Big Shell. Now, I think that it's real important to be comfortable, especially if you get stuck taking your wife. If you go down there and you're not comfortable with your wife, it'll be the last time you go down there. So it's real important to take the kind of things that make everybody happy. Now, when we go down there, I remember the first time I went down there with a tent that I bought at Sears, and they gave me one of those little plastic stakes about this big, and I stuck them all in the sand. Then the wind started blowing. Then my tent went to the dunes, and that was the end of that story. Now, we have decided this is a little bit more effective. If you guys are out on the beach, think about some of these kind of things. We use these, just regular rebar, put a little bend in them, and we use this kind of material for all our tent stakes. Now, this isn't a joke, but it gets pretty windy out there. So, we were trying to use this for a while, but the tarp ended up tearing before these would give away. So we went to this size over here. This really, really works real well. Now, the other thing that they sell you at Sears is tent poles. Now, these are not the tent poles that they sell you at Sears. They sell you those little aluminum jobs. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have had much success with those little aluminum jobs, but they just don't cut it very well. What we did is we went back out and we kind of made our own. Put a small screw tip at the end of this aluminum piping, and we use these for our tarp poles and for our tent poles. Now, this is really what you need when you're going to spend a couple, 3 days out on the beach, because you want to make sure that you kind of protect yourself from the elements, protect your family, those kind of things. So those are just a couple of things on camping gear. Now, if you're going to go down into the Big Shell area, usually we like to go down and spend a couple days. You know, there's some real obvious things. An ice chest with just ice in it. Toilet facilities. Those kind of necessities, all the things that you've got to take on a regular camping trip. But who can tell me the most important thing to take to the beach for camping?
Fresh water.
Water. That's the second best thing. Anybody, first best thing to take down to the beach for camping?
Baby powder.
No, that's not wrong.
Baby powder.
The number one thing is baby powder. Anybody know that? Right.
Yeah, you said it
Let
last
me tell you
time.
something. If you sit around and surf fish and get salty and sweaty for 24 hours or 12 hours, and you try to go to sleep, don't even consider snuggling up to your wife. Just go to sleep. And you feel like grit, you took the beach with you. You got two options. Either get up and take a bath, or take a little jar of baby powder, and before you hit the sack, pour it all over you. And it's like you just walked out of the shower. It's number one thing. Number two thing. There are a couple things down there that don't like you. I know that any of you surf fishermen have never caught hardheads, but for those of you who have and gotten stuck, what's the number one best thing for hardhead advice?
Belly rub.
Belly rub. That's absolutely right. If you'll take some of that belly fluid and stuff off the bottom of that hardhead, rub it in, it works. If not that, meat tenderizer works. And let me tell you something, those little kinds of things that you put in your tackle box or in your ice chest or in your stowaway bag, I mean, they can really make you and your family's life a lot happier. Those are some important things. Now, when you go down there, we like to, look, my tape is running by itself. How about that? If you go down there, we like to, stop machine, there you go, thank you. We like to go down there and spend a couple days. Now, when I was younger, I started surf fishing when I was about 14 years old, and we used to go down there with bologna and bread. And we thought we had made the grade. Bologna and bread and a lemon, and let's go fishing. Well, let me tell you something, as you get older, your priorities change a whole lot. Like, let's be comfortable and eat. Now, in planning a menu to go down to the beach, how many of you guys have ever gone down to the beach and barbecued? Wrong. Barbecue is not the thing to do on the beach. Okay? What we like to do when we go to the beach is do a couple things. Number one is to pre-prepare a couple things. And hot things are the best on the beach, man. You're tired, you don't beat. Something hot really makes you go again. Whether it be stew or chili or noodle or any of that, those are easy. But the key things are, let's talk about a couple of those meals. Usually what happens is we get there on a Friday night. And what we'll do is we'll go light with dinner on Friday because everybody's pumped up and they're, pumped up. And so I'm the cook. I'll make some burgers. But guys, don't treat your buddies like your enemies. Hey, take a little lettuce, take a little mayo, take a little tomatoes. Hey, and slap them on a burger and you make a lot of friends. Now we eat pretty light on Friday night. Saturday morning, everybody's pretty pumped up. And traditionally, breakfast is the easiest thing to do if you use your brain. Now, I like to eat potatoes, but frying French fries is a real problem. What we like to do is we usually take 2 stoves. And that's usually better for 4 or more guys if you can. It's 4 burners. Now, what I'll do is every morning you eat on my camp, you're eating, I'm telling you, eating beans, refried because they cook up easy. And it's a piece of cake to make. Throw a little cheese in your business. But in the other pan, you can mix eggs with anything. You can mix eggs with chorizo, with potatoes, with country sausage, with just about anything. And if you get those 2 dishes out, a few tortillas, and you have a quick and easy meal for your buddies that you need to get going. Now, Saturday during the day, we usually don't have the time or the energy or the patience to sit around and eat. People are really fishing hard, they're really doing well. So we take cold cuts and some of those leftover lettuce and tomatoes from the morning or from the evening before. Evening meals, they're a little tougher. The people are usually a little hungrier. They're ready to eat a little bit bigger meal. Now, no matter what kind of meat you want to make, let me tell you something, guys. It's real simple to boil or steam something. Steam broccoli or steam or boil new potatoes you gotta forget about bologna. We gotta move up. And you end up going out there and you make this camping trip and fishing trip into something that's comfortable. Alright? Into something that really, really works. Okay. So now we got you down there safely and we got you eating good. Now let's talk about where you go from there. Now the other thing that we used to do when we used to go down to Big Shields, as I said, we used to go down there with a lantern. 1 lantern. Well, that doesn't work too well. We were filming this for a TV show a few months ago down at Big Show, but it gives you an idea of some of the things that we've decided to do. We now have built this trailer here. Now, what we do with that trailer is originally we decided to build that trailer so we could take our inflatable raft down there so we could drop shark baits out. But we figured while we had this big box, we might as well utilize it for a couple more things. Now, you're going to see my buddy do a little work here. There he goes. What we have done, and the key things are, is to install something that helps you see at night. All right? So what we've done is that we installed, and this doesn't have to be on a trailer. I mean, it can be on your truck, or it can be on a stand. But let me tell you guys, it makes a big difference on the amount of fishing time you get if you let yourself fish at night. I mean, 1 lantern and slow fishing ends real quick. Now, if you want to give yourself the opportunity to utilize all your hours down there, take some equipment. And I mean, you don't have to do this all in one day, but as we started surf fishing, we started adding stuff. Okay. Now, what we do is we've got 2 light sets. We've got this upper light set, which acts as a area light, so that we can find our way back to the trailer late at night. These lights are a series of 4 locomotive headlights that we use to point out to the water. Now, there's different schools of thought here. I've had some old salts down at the beach tell me that those lights chase away redfish, and it spooks them. But we have caught some fish under these lights. So, I think it's going to be kind of trial by error. Now, the one thing that we do agree with is that we have caught some redfish under those lights, but we have never caught a shark under lights. We have found in the several years that we've been fishing that if we keep these directive lights out into the water, that we have never caught big fish late at night. Now, let's see here. Get my magic box one here. Okay, now, as you guys know, seasonal fishing, just like bass fishing or striper fishing or fishing freshwater, is the same thing down on the beach. If you look at the different seasons of the state of Texas, what you're going to get is different seasons in fishing. But you guys can go down and utilize 360 miles of beach and catch something every time you go down there. The problem, and what we're going to work on tonight is that nobody anymore is going to go down there and catch just hardnets, or go down there and throw shrimp forever and catch little fish. We want to move up. Everybody can catch bigger and more fish if you just know where to throw. Now, during the wintertime, the majority of the fish that move, that are migratory, that move up and down those troughs. Let's go back a little bit. I think everybody knows that I think this is a good example here, that the beach, out in front of the beach, we basically look at a series of troughs, which starts with now remember, this is a little different. Here at Big Shell, this is really the first gut. Down north of us, where there's not a big shell bank, you have a wade gut, a small trough, or a small sandbar, then the series of troughs start. But here at Big Shell, this is the first gut. Now you can tell where the sandbars are, right? Here's the first one, here's the second one, and now here's the third one. Now, it's my theory, and I don't know how much that's true, but it's my theory that migratory fish chase bait fish along these troughs. Basically what happens is that these bait fish run up and down the side of these troughs. So behind the bait fish, the mullet, the shad, and shrimp, they're moving up and down these sides of these troughs, either the inside or the outside. When they see these big pompano and these big redfish coming at them, where do they go? On top of the sandbar. It's much shallower there. And they figure these big game fish aren't going to chase them. So you got the bait fish like this. You got the game fish behind them. And you got the sharks behind them. The bigger the fish, the less likely he's going to want to go in shallow water. But let me tell you, I have seen 13-foot sharks right here. It happens. Not all the time, but it does happen. So, the key is where are you going to throw? Or let's talk about something about it. What are you going to do first? The first thing that we're all going to do is we're going to stop at the red dot on the Humble bait stand. The last picture. The red dot on the Humble bait stand, since I own half of it, and get bait. That's the first thing we're going to do. And after you get your shrimp, because that's the way to start. What we're going to do is that we're going to go out, and let's let this thing play a little bit. We're going to go out and we're going to catch bait. This is what we do with this little booger right here. Okay? Now, 6-7 pound test. Small leader just in case you hook up with the trout. Blue chilled reel. I believe in bait casting reels. I got one of these, but let me tell you something. This ultralight right here has been emptied more than once when I was out there just tooting around trying to catch white. And some big old Jack Carvel, big old 40-pound Jack Carvel comes in and he decides where he's going to go, and he goes without me. Takes all my line and all my, if it didn't bust off, he'd take my rig with it. So what we want to do is, the first thing that we want to do is we want to go out there and we want to try to catch some bait. This friend of mine right here is going to show you basically what I was talking about. And, well, that's really neat. What we're going to be looking for is to try to come out and get some baits out in the water. Now, what I'm going to be doing here, as I mentioned to you guys, see how this bar is right here? The key is not to get one of these long rods or short rods or big rods and just throw the rod and the bait out into the middle of the lake. That's not the idea. How many of you guys just think that you could go down to Calaveras Lake and throw the rod or the lure in the middle of the lake and and be real successful. On certain occasions maybe, but here, it's not a matter of how much or how far you throw, it's where you throw. Okay? This man right here has got an ultralight rod. And he threw from here to right here. Because he thinks that there is bait fish moving along this trough. Now, if he catches bait fish there, that's a pretty good sign that there's going to be some of those other guys there too. So what he's doing is he is just throwing from right here to right here. What we like to do when we get to a campsite is to try to stage our baits. Stage our baits. But the first thing you got to do is get a little bait to throw. So what you're going to see him do here, hopefully, this is the same bait. I won't bait. Is to come out here and try to pick up a little bit of bait. Okay, this is a good example here. If you're going to take your kids, remember to take care of your little guys and get a life jacket on them. Now, I'm rigging up a longer rod. If you remember back, the first guy had a real short rod. Mine